My name is Alana Mayhew, and today I'll be talking to you about muscular dystrophy. Muscular dystrophy is a group of diseases that cause progressive weakness and loss of muscle mass in the human body. It's caused by abnormal genes or mutations that interfere with the production of proteins that need to form healthy muscles, so the body can't produce healthy muscles. There are many different kinds of muscular dystrophy, and the symptoms of the most common variety, they begin in childhood, mainly in boys, but it can affect girls. And other types don't surface until they're into adulthood. Some people who have muscular dystrophy eventually lose the ability to walk, and they will need help of a wheelchair. And many have trouble breathing or swallowing due to the lack of muscles. There is no cure for muscular dystrophy, but medications and therapy can help manage the symptoms and slow the course of the disease. And I got that definition from the Mayo Clinic. Diagram of biceps. I just wanted to show you how biceps look in a person without muscular dystrophy and how they look in a person with muscular dystrophy. The normal one is on the left and the one with muscular dystrophy is on the right, and you can see a big difference there. The category of disability that it would be in Musser would be orthopedic impairment, which is also a physical disability. Some facts about muscular dystrophy that I'm going to abbreviate as MD on the slideshow is around the age of 2 to 6, muscle weakness will usually show. Might have trouble standing, walking, jumping, stuff like that. And about the time they reach 10 to 14 years old, they can no longer walk and will need a wheelchair. Before that, they could walk on their own, or they might need some braces or stuff like that. As a teacher, parent, family, friend, lifting a person with muscular dystrophy by the arms is very dangerous because it can dislocate their limbs. And people with muscular dystrophy often die from heart or respiratory failure because their chest muscles have wasted away. So because there's no muscles, it's hard for the lungs to be able to breathe and the heart to be able to pump. And the heart itself is a muscle too, so that's also wasting away. And depending on the type of muscular dystrophy, it is often fatal between a person's teenage years and early adulthood years. 30 is about the maximum life expectancy for most types of muscular dystrophy. Some are even earlier than that. Duchenne muscular dystrophy, or DMD, occurs the most and is often only in males, about every 1 in 3,500 males. It can affect girls, but it's pretty rare. And Duchenne muscular dystrophy is the most severe kind, as well as the most popular. Some implications for classroom education. Students with muscular dystrophy are going to have a hard time standing up from sitting in a chair or on the floor. So in like elementary years, they might need help, or they might just take a little longer getting from like the circles that most teachers make on the floor with like a carpet. They're going to have a harder time participating in physical education classes. They still should participate though, because it's good to keep their muscles moving, but they might need it to be modified a little. Taking notes on lessons is going to be hard as well, because they're going to have a slower reaction time, and muscles are found in the hand and arms, and so that all goes into writing. Moving around the classroom and the school will also be difficult for them. They might there's going to be a lot of kids in the halls bumping into them, and stairs, so they might need an elevator or extra time, something like that. Breathing is often difficult because of the muscles in your body also. Troubles breathing can cause headaches, troubles focusing, and sleepiness due to lack of oxygen, so students are going to have a hard time staying awake in class sometimes. They may be easily frustrated and angry because they can't do things that the other children are doing, or they're having a hard time doing what they want to do. And they can often feel lonely and depressed. And many have learning problems related to the amount of information they can effectively process at one time. And they're going to have a hard time with verbal instructions. And this isn't everybody, but often people with Duchenne muscular dystrophy have trouble with this. And I just wanted to show you a diagram of how it progresses. You can see how in the middle at the top, He's slightly curving to try to find some balance, and by the time 10 to 14, they're in a wheelchair. And the bottom showing a kid standing up, that's called the Gowers maneuver. And that's how a lot of kids with muscular dystrophy stand up. It's how they get their balance. Some teaching strategies for students with muscular dystrophy. Students work in groups. It will be easier for them. One kid can do the writing, and the student with muscular dystrophy can contribute any other way. Transdisciplinary team approach is also effective. That means teachers will work with other teachers and professionals. The most common would be with the physical and occupational therapists, as well as other health specialists like their pediatrician. Also, breaking oral information and instructions into small sections will help with um, students' learning difficulties with verbal information. And checking in with students to make sure they understand will also be helpful. Using visual and light movement if necessary in lessons can help because it won't just all be oral. And using strategies to help improve memory can be helpful as well, such as mnemonics like PEMDAS is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, or parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, things like that, just to help. Some modifications for the classroom. Adaptive physical education will be necessary because students will eventually need a wheelchair and they're going to have trouble moving around. They can't do crunches or pull-ups because those will put too much strain on the individual. Wheelchair sports are an option though. Assignments in shorter length will also be helpful. Less writing, less less work for the student. Outlining or projects instead of writing out essays will be helpful too. It will help with the using less muscles in the hand and taking less time because these students are going to need a lot of time at the doctors as well. Some accommodations that teachers can have. They can supply textbooks for at home and at school, so the students can keep it at school and at home so they don't have to carry the heavy textbooks and put strain on them. Or they could have an ebook. Oral tests can also be an accommodation because it will be the same test but talking instead of having to write. Typing notes, talk to text, recording the lesson, or using a scribe will also be helpful for the note taking. Special pencil grippers can help the students who are still writing with pencils to be able to hold it better. Extra time getting to and from class is going to be essential. Wheelchairs will be hard to get through crowded hallways. Give them a couple extra minutes to get where they're going. Also, changing a class location for accessibility or having the use of an elevator or ramp will also be essential. If you have a 2-story school without an elevator, that will be very difficult. Student and your class is on the 2nd floor, you're going to have to change to the 1st floor. Or if you have an elevator or ramp, that will be necessary. You can also change the layout of the classroom for easier mobility. Making the aisles bigger will be easier for a wheelchair to get through, or having a one path to the student's desk from the door will make it easier. Physical and occupational therapy will also be a must. Students will need to learn how to use the muscles that they do have, keep the muscles fit that they do have, and be able to use their wheelchair and stuff appropriately. Supportive seating is also good. It will keep the student sitting upright, and a desk that can go up and down to fit a wheelchair or the supportive seating will be helpful. And some students with muscular dystrophy have a service dog for multiple purposes, emotional and physical, so that the dogs can do tasks for them. So now I'm going to have you guys watch this video. It's Brain Pop's Duchenne Muscular Dystrophy video. In this video, just watch it and then I'll have you answer a question at the end.
I hate the fitness test. break. Dear Tim and Moby, my brother was diagnosed with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. What is it? From Tyler. Well, muscular dystrophy is the name for a group of medical conditions that affects how a person's muscles work. Duchenne muscular dystrophy, or DMD, is the most common form of the condition. It affects about 1 in 3,500 boys. No, girls can be born with DMD too, but it's really rare. Like I was saying, kids with muscular dystrophy don't have muscles that work like they should. Muscles play a big part in the way our bodies develop and function. So a condition that's messing with your muscles is going to affect your overall health. It can be hard to tell when young children have a serious condition like DMD. There are differences going on inside of people that we just can't see. Tommy there isn't last in line because he wants to be. The effects of DMD just make him move a little slower than the other kids. Kids, and like we said, usually boys, are generally diagnosed with DMD between the ages of 1 and 6. Well, there are some noticeable symptoms. Children with DMD usually have trouble jumping and hopping. They may fall down frequently and have problems doing things like running, climbing stairs, and getting up from seated positions. You'll see boys with DMD standing up using a move called Gower's maneuver. Some of the boys walk on their toes a lot. Well, it's because their Achilles tendons tighten up. All of these signs help doctors spot DMD early. That's important because the effects of muscular dystrophy are progressive, meaning they increase over time. See, DMD causes more and more muscle weakness as individual muscle cells die. The muscles don't necessarily get smaller. Lots of times, the muscle cells turn into fat and scar tissue, so the muscle can look big, but it's not strong. As a child with DMD grows up, the condition gets more serious. Things that most of us take for granted, like running, walking, or even hugging someone you love, become more difficult as the disease progresses. Kids with DMD will eventually need some help getting around. They'll need to hold on to something as they walk, and eventually use an electric wheelchair or electric scooter. No, it's not contagious. Muscular dystrophy is a genetic disorder that you're born with. It's caused by a change in a person's DNA sequence. Muscular dystrophy is a mistake in a part of the program that keeps muscles healthy. The muscles can't produce dystrophin, a protein that acts as a shock absorber to make muscles stable. There's still no cure for DMD, but treatment is improving all the time. Physical therapy can slow down its progress. And the sooner therapy begins, the more effective it'll be, so early diagnosis is really important. Scientists are constantly working to develop drugs that could alter the DNA sequence that codes for DMD.
Are we interrupting something?
No, we were just... Hey, I can't do the pull-ups either.
Well, in that case, perhaps you should join Tommy.
Oh, okay. Alright, are you ready? Because I'm seriously about to do one. Seriously. Oh, why were pull-ups even invented? I can't even hang here anymore. How are you not slipping? Oh.
Alright, I will put a link to that underneath the link from the YouTube video in Blackboard. So if you need to rewatch that again. And my question for you guys is, as you saw in the video, DMD can slow a child down and other students will probably notice. So if you have a student in your class with muscular dystrophy, will you tell your other students about muscular dystrophy? And if so, how would you do it without invading the student's privacy? Children are curious and they're probably going to want to know. An additional question would be, how would you adapt a physical education class for a student with muscular dystrophy? What would you do if you were the gym teacher? Alright, here are my sources. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions, you guys can email me at alana.mayhew@maine.edu, and I look forward to your responses to the questions on Blackboard. Thanks and have a great day.